What happened to the?
There you go.
There we
All
go.
right. Welcome in YouTube. This is Juicy. Uh, here with Mobile Gamer again. So our week 2 of CC. We're just kind of going over our weeks, going over what my next week is looking like, and just going over the defense that I'm thinking about setting. Still working on it a little bit. So Boomer, how did you do last week?
All right, so I went 1-3, but I don't feel bad about it. And the reason why I don't feel bad about it is that the first round was against a level 100 player, and I just got blindsided by a gambit in room one, where he just completely deleted my entire Sinister Six team. It was wild, right? It's just the power. You're experiencing it too, right? And I know you did very well, and you probably had some level 100 players also. I wasn't ready for that, and so that loss, I could have just done a different team comp, right? And I know what I did wrong, and then I won my second round, and I lost my third round. The same thing. I know. It's funny. It's like I build a little sheet and I plan my 6 attacks out, and then you see me like I see my chicken scratches. I line out a team, and then I write in a different team, and then that, and it's like I should have did the other team. That's how it went. It's like if I would have just played a little differently, I could have won all three. But it is what it is. I enjoyed losing. Does that does
Yeah.
that matters too, right? I actually enjoyed losing. It was fine. I know why I lost.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the just a reminder, like if we look at the rankings leaderboard, you still have plenty of weeks to make up the season, right? There's still what five weeks. This is the sixth
Right.
week, so you still have plenty of time to make that up. It's better to lose now than it is to lose later in the season. Um, you know, and I had a great week. I went 3-0, so I ended up being ranked number 30. So I both am happy with this spot, but also if you can guess what my next pool is gonna be. So just to kind of preview, so I am 65 million. Slot
Yeah.
number 7 is 95 million.
95.
This is
95
slot
million. Oh my god.
7. This is slot 7.
Go to
So
number. What's number one? What is number one? I'm curious. 114. Wow.
so I am the only person in my bracket that does not have a golden APOC. So
Yeah, and the golden APOC is a function of the event where, if you upgrade the 38 characters, whatever, or 48 characters it is up to level 100, you get the points, and you also get the with the Captain Marvel costume. But anyways, yeah, we know because you're what 97. I'm guessing you're 96 or 97 right now, and they're
I'm
all
not,
like 99 or 100.
yeah, these are all either 99 or 100. It's gonna be fun. I've played several of these guys before. Like I said it's gonna be fun. You're either gonna be entertained by me winning somehow, and also you're gonna be entertained by the sure rage that brews as you're getting pummeled by these gigantic 3 million teams. It's gonna be great. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a great week. Yeah. So going on to the defense and kind of just breaking those down. So room one, how what is your thoughts? Just you still traumatized by that gambit?
Yeah, so like I feel like there was I use Superior Six here, which was a mistake, in the Gambit. I mean, I think you got to just get through the Gambit. If the Gambit blows 50%, gets 200%, and what you're doing right here is using Quicksilver, which this is an interesting idea because this what shuts down when you said New Warriors.
It shuts down new warriors and it can cause problems for MOE. Um, again, it just adds extra RNG to this factor. Quicksilver can come out of the gate. In my round two, my opponent knocked Quicksilver low, and he deleted his Gwen pool right off the map, and I bet you he was not pleased with that. So
Yeah, but
Raiders can,
you Raider on Quicksilver though, right?
yes, Raider on Quicksilver. Um, so a little tip for those that are using this team, if you're gonna take Superior Six with the Vulture in, um, notice the ISOs of my Superior Six. I actually changed them all to Raiders. Vulture with Raider can do the same thing back that Gambit does to you. Against a 3 million team, my Vulture deleted his entire Extreme Rogue in round 3. So that's just a little tip for y'all out there that if you're taking Superior 6 in here, change them all to Raiders and Skirmishers. It'll go a lot cleaner
But
for you.
you gotta get them below 50% for that to pop off though, right?
Yes, but Gambit's gonna ping down somebody, either Slayer or a Vulture, and either one of them below 50% will do the same amount of damage that Gambit does, and back at them. So that helps. Is it? What about so room two? I just moved over SD into. Um, just thinking that I'm gonna draw out New Warriors or Masters of Evil. Uh, are you sticking with Darkhold this week? Or are you gonna move something over here?
So I didn't struggle with Darkhold into like playing against Darkhold into like I feel like that's a solved problem. Most people are just gonna take Tangled and Kestrel and then just explode it or just some version of Tangled, right? So I feel like it's a non-event. Even with like you mentioned last week, if you put in Loki, that just changes the turn order a little bit, and then you just offset that with Emma on the attacking side. So this makes sense. I'm gonna try this. The only thing I'm thinking about leaving them in four and then adding the three Ps. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm thinking about leaving them in four.
Yeah. Yep. So that's a great choice. I think that it wouldn't surprise me if I end up moving ST back into four, and moving Darkhold back into two. Again, I this is very tentative. I'm still thinking about it. But the only teams that I'm pretty sure on is one, three, which we could just get into now, and then room six. So room three, I have iWatch in here. I think people were a little blindsided by iWatch, especially once they
Yeah.
get large, right? Because if they're small, they're not hard to manage. But once you start building them up really well, they're a problem, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is the room that blindsided me the most. Like, big time Spider-Man and Internals is not going to work. Like, you're going to have to do something else. Whether an APOC or some version of Masters of Evil. You're going to have to use a bigger team in here than I ever imagined. Infinity Watch will never die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
They're
insane.
always going to be meta, right? They're always going to be meta somehow. How does this team? I mean, I guess it's just the combination of safeguard and defense up is just and revive that makes them an efficiency killer at a minimum, right?
Yeah, when the fact that when I look at this defense and the fact that I have Gamma on the bench before I have Infinity Watch, and I'm pretty sure Gamma is a year, at least a year, if not a year and a half, like newer, is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like this team just doesn't want to disappear from the meta, especially some on CC where turn bonus matters, right? Because nothing you can beat Infinity Watch. It's beating Infinity Watch fast. It's always becomes the problem, right? When they're fully built.
It's an efficiency problem. It really is. And what are the choices there? I mean, big time Spider-Man kind of was like the cheat code, or the way that the room rules were last season. You could run Lizard and wipe, or Slayer and wipe all the revives, but now that doesn't work that way. So it's a trickier room for sure.
Hmm. And then going into room four, we have some type of combo of Black Knight. So as I suggested in Mobile's video, which you should come check out, is that whatever you had in four, if you're gonna run Black Knight on defense, just put Black Knight on that team. I don't think Black Knight's gonna be as gonna perform as well in the other rooms. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like. Well, first of all, we talked about Captain America being good in this room last week because of his special giving out ability energy is going to fuel the team, right? And Black Knight just makes sense with Captain America. There's this small synergy with protectors built into Black Knight where the taunts will bounce back and forth, which is kind of fun. So you can definitely works with Captain America. Captain Carter also got the reworks, but the most important thing about the reworks on Captain America is that 41% health, which is huge. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use Tigra and Mockingbird. I'm actually maybe considering just doing something with Secret Defenders here, maybe putting in the trio and taking out Carter and running Black Knight and Captain America. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not. This is the one room that I think is the most problematic and fun at the same time. I love this room.
Yeah, this is a great room. Yeah, as I said, not this is not my final draft. I like SD3 with Black Knight and Captain America, or even just SD4 with Black Knight. All
Right.
those are great options. He does fantastic. I warn you, if you have him in any other room, there are teams that if you can flip his buffs at the start of the gate, whether that be
Right.
2099, Big Time Spider Man,
Void
Icarus,
Knight.
Void Knight, all those tunes will flip him, and then he instantly loses so much value,
Mm-hmm.
because then you can work around him, right? Um, whereas,
I also feel like this was a super scroll room, right? Like
mhm,
this is you put if you don't run super scroll on defense, you run super scroll on offense here, right?
yeah,
And Void Knight kind of counters that advantage to a certain extent. It's not like I mean, it's kind of a counter, right? I mean,
yeah, and then you're limiting. So I think you're going to see. I'm not going to say it, but if there's another group of people that are moving Black Knight to offense, so they can just counter Super Scroll, and I think that's a very valid option if you have Black Knight unlocked, is using him to counter whatever they put Super Scroll on. I think that's going to work well for you.
yeah.
And then let's see here. I don't think there's anything really new on 5 and 6. Is there anything special you saw on these two? We saw that Pegasus really just didn't hold any water. Don't put Pegasus on defense at the higher end, right? Lower end maybe, but higher end, don't do that. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, it just depends on where you're at in the game. I mean, I got blindsided by Pegasus because I didn't use the right team. I allocated Vol for room 4 to pair up with Super Scroll, where I should have saved Vol on a room 5 team to ability block the Doom and then do the traditional thing with the Eternals and Omega Red and let's see, OG Falcon, because Pegasus is slow, and it's just that simple. And I was blindsided by the team, but I just again picking the correct team out of the gate is so important, and that's why the spreadsheet's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that segues into this. Just a reminder, those that are following my channel, that there is a spreadsheet that will be linked below, as well as my Discord. Right on the Discord, you can go in there and you can upload. If you're a content creator, this is a great place for you to upload your counters. Right, if you see that you made a counter that's not on that spreadsheet, just submit it there on the Discord, and then my or some of the other people that moderate it will add your counter on there, so people can use it to help the community, right? And then that spreadsheet is just for everyone available, right? Some people complain that they're mad that I'm not in I'm not on their streams helping them. Hey, I have a spreadsheet to help you, guide you, figure out all your attacks. You can use that spreadsheet to win battles. I know people in the top 200, 100 that use that spreadsheet on every single one of their CCs. So you can use that too. Boomer, do you have anything else for us before we head out?
I really like the season rules. I prefer the less prescriptive room bonuses than the super specific ones where you're kind of forced into placing an exact team, and that's the best team to put there. And then there's an exact counter, and then it's the same thing every week. So I like this a lot more. And I like that the meta changes with the introduction of new characters that just feels more organic. Like this week, we're getting Black Knight. So that reason why week 1 is different than week 2 is because of Black Knight, and that changes everything up. And I feel like that is a better way for the meta to change and keep the game fresh than Wakanda has to go in room 5 and everything destroys it if you don't counter it with exactly master. I hated that stuff. It was just driving
Yeah,
me crazy, right?
yeah. Let the best teams do their thing, and let us figure it out. And then as you release tunes, as I said, Room 4 is a good example. It is perfectly designed to help the out of time team as they're released to keep just slotting in here more and more, taking this room over and causing more frustration in other rooms, or spreading their defense thin, right? And so that's just another great
Absolutely.
example. So
Yep.
anyway,
I love it.
alrighty. Well, I think this has been Juicy and Mobile Gamer. Y'all have a great week 2 of season 5, or no, season 6. Just have a great week either way. Destroying words. You're rubbing off of me a little bit, Boomer. Later, y'all.
Yeah. Hulk fist bump out. Oh wait, that's a different channel.